Hi, this is Mark Laughlin speaking for the Ambidextral Gunfighter. This is episode 3 of our backpack carbine series, where I'm looking at an urban backpack carbine. This is for kind of concealed carry of a carbine in a non-permissive or tyrannical environment. In this case, I used a chrome backpack, which is sitting right there, and which fits nice and snugly against the body and is not overly tall, so it doesn't look like it's carrying something really long. Fortunately, a rifle, even a folded Kel-Tec SU-16, doesn't fit in. The barrel sticks out a little bit. So I use a couple of things. I've tried a couple. One is a kind of a leather cover for a pot handle, for a hot pot handle. It's this leather cover, it slides on. It's about that long, and I'll have links to it in the description. And also I used a paintball condom which says rental on it, and nice bright yellow, so that pokes out of the pack, and but maybe doesn't look like a rifle being carried in your backpack. But some of the key things for urban, being kind of the urban gray man and for concealed carry of a rifle in an urban environment. One is, of course, dress in subtle clothing or kind of hipster clothing. You don't want tactical 511 shorts and tactical gear. While this gray shirt would be all right, maybe having my logo on it wouldn't be. A mountain bike is a nice addition, or if you want to really go hardcore, get a fixed gear bike. That definitely hipster right there. But a mountain bike to me is way more versatile. Also like to wear the chrome shoes as well, which are kind of skinny looking shoes, which kind of is the whole hipster thing. I won't go so far as to wear skinny jeans, but I will wear kind of gay looking shorts. And then your helmet, in a conflict or street fight, unbuckle your helmet, because if someone grabs the top of the helmet, they have control of your head. So while you think it would be nice to have impact protection and have your helmet buckled, as I understand it, and this comes from Greg Elefritz, not a good idea, because that's just something you can yank. This gives you leverage on your head, gives somebody more leverage to snap it around. So this is the chrome backpack I'm using, and I've got a little kind of a gray man thermal insulated water bottle, and you can see it's relatively small, short, kind of looks like a conventional pack, and not too terribly obnoxious. Doesn't stand out. No molly, no tactical pouches or anything on it. Ideally, it would be like my Everly stock with the rifle scabbard on, where I could reach across the back, grab the rifle, and pull it out. But I just can't figure out a way, at least yet, to make that work on my urban backpack. I'm basically running my rifle in this one muzzle up. This thing has this chrome backpack has really good padding on the straps and really nice padding in the back here. So, standoffs there, cushiony standoffs that let air flow. So that's really good for hiking, biking, and all that kind of stuff. So chrome does make good backpacks, and they are kind of popular with the hipster crowd, the Seattle and Portland crowd. Now we're back to our Kel-Tec SU-16. This is one of our other ones. We have several of these, and so this one's been set up for an urban environment. I've painted it this kind of it's kind of a gray, maybe a iceberg gray or something. It's frosty gray, and then left some parts of it original stock black. Only things other than painting it that I've done to it is add a tech sights. This time I went with the flip sight, which I think I should have probably stuck with the adjustable one, because with the relatively short sight radius of the SU-16C, that translates in with that pop-up sight, that translates to about an 8 minute of angle difference. Zero this sight for 25 yards, and then it's going to be on probably at about 270, 300 yards. And then the flip-up sight That's probably going to be out to about 600 yards with this short sight radius. If you have one of the other SU-16s, the other models that have the sight, front sight is way out on the barrel, then that additional sight radius will get it back to, I think, close to 4 or 5 minute of angle, and so that might put you on at about 500 yards. Now really for a carbine like this, iron sights, I just don't see engaging targets out to 500 yards. I mean, it's possible, but it'd be pretty challenging. The rifle does, when it folds up for storage, just like that, and with it folded, it will hold a 20 round magazine in it. Basically the color I chose tried to match a kind of a concrete jungle environment. And at some point I may actually do a splatter spray across the top in a dark blue and kind of go for a Hellcat F6F look to it. So otherwise it's pretty stock. We're running this, this is the kind of the concealment device. You can hide the muzzle when it's in the backpack. I'm running a thread protector with a Fluted thread protector on it. I'm not running the flash hider because that sticks out even a little bit further. I'm trying to get that length down. Some people are going to say, you know, don't we need a flash hider on this? And honestly, in an urban environment, I mean, maybe there'd be situations where it'd be nice to have a flash hider on it, and maybe carry one in your backpack and maybe unthread this and put it on if you think you need it. But I'm thinking that Kyle Rittenhouse had no concerns about, you know, he didn't care if he had a flash signature. I mean, he was out just in the open and then turned into a gunfight. So, and I think that's what this rifle is kind of set up for the urban environment, is for a self-defense weapon in that situation, and not for, you know, where you're being concealed up in, you know, up in the bell tower and trying to hide your position. This is just a personal defense weapon. Now, as I really like the SU-16Cs, they're use AR mags and pretty accurate. One thing I did was they had the deflector plastic thing on here, and when working the charging handle, your thumb or fingers wanted to slide off the end of it, and hidden inside of that is this just nice little round charging handle. And the best way to get it off is just by using a heat gun, heating it up, getting that plastic hot, and then just peeling it away. And besides that, the only other little thing I've done is added a little ThinkPad track point here, just to kind of extend the safety out just a little bit, so I can actually click it off with the back side of my index finger, like that. Now the SU-16 kind of has a reputation for being a problematic or poor quality gun. I think it more has to do with the fact that a lot of people that buy them tend to be novice shooters, or, you know, people that are just getting into shooting, and they find these and they're pretty affordable compared to like an AR, but yet it's firing the same cartridge as an AR and uses AR magazines. So they you know, pick one up for $500 or $600, and because they don't really know what they're doing, they do dumb stuff with it, and maybe don't take good care of it. One thing that I often see is, I mean, this rifle engineering, Kel-Tec did some amazing engineering to get the weight of this rifle to where it's this amazing, like under 5 pounds, I think, maybe just a little over 5 pounds. But it's, you know, mostly all polymer and very lightweight and folds up very compact. Now, what ruins that is the people who buy these and then try to turn this into an AR. You know, putting a AR style buckstock on it, I mean, if you want that, get an AR. Putting a big optic on it, and that's kind of problematic for the SU-16C because, or the SU-16 series in general, because for the field stripping, this gas tube has to actually tilt up, and then so you can't have an optic sticking out much past this Picatinny rail, or it'll interfere with your field stripping. I mean, if you do have an optic extending out here, you're gonna have to take the optic off every time you field strip this rifle. So that's another reason I like the just simple, you know, iron sights, tech sights. The original sight on this is nothing wrong with it, but tech sights just a little bit nicer, more easily adjusted. It's got a standard kind of an AR front post, which I really like, adjusts just like an AR. So to adjust your elevation with this setup, because I've only got windage adjustment here on the rear with this particular tech sight. The other tech sight has elevation and windage, but with this one I got windage, and then up here you got your elevation. You adjust your elevation at the front sight. So just, you know, a quick reminder is for adjusting, you move the rear sight in the direction you want your group to move, and on the front side it's the opposite. So if you want your group to move up, you move your sight down. Added a little bit of grip tape, skateboard tape, to the bottom here underneath, and that basically allows for your fingertips to get a good bite on that and get that exaggerated, you know, it's like, I should do this right-handed here. So I get my fingertips just like that, and that lets me get this kind of exaggerated C-shaped trigger finger while I'm pulling straight back on the rifle, and it'll improve your accuracy shooting the thing. Now with my setup that I've come up with here, it's not, I don't know, it's not where I really want it to be. The backpack is a little bit too small for the rifle, and so I have to have that barrel condom on it to conceal the muzzle sticking out from inside my backpack. I could invert it and maybe cut a little hole in the bottom and run the barrel condom out the bottom like a little, look like a little drain valve or something, and let the muzzle go down, and then maybe then I could reach across the back and pull it out like I do with my Everly stock. But I don't know, it's a decent setup, but I think there's definitely some improvements that can be made. Some other rifles or other firearms that I think might be better suited to the this urban personal defense weapon would be like you know, your pistol brace ARs, or pistols in general. You know, I say CP33 from Kel-Tec, you know, the Kel-Tec P50 5.7 caliber, which is or a PLR, the 5.56 PLR from Kel-Tec, and also this maybe the CMR 30. That's getting a little bit long, but anyway, there's, you know, other potential solutions to this. So do some research, explore. You know, I have several of these SU-16Cs, so that's what I went with on this setup. Tech sights, links down in the description. Use the like I said, the chrome Avail backpack, very nondescript. I'll have a link for that in the description, but I think it is discontinued, so you'll have to find something else. And also the chrome Kursk bike shoes that I'm wearing. Again, kind of a skinny bicycling shoe, so it's that hipster look. Also the Bell 440 helmet that I'm wearing on my mountain bike. Also, maybe something else to throw in the pack is a high visibility vest. That's something always going to give you that official look. You know, throw in I basically have a kind of a simplified IFAK in this backpack. I've got a quick clot, some first aid, some really micro kind of first aid shears. Could also carry a SAM splint if you're, you know, mountain biking in pretty harsh country. Quick clot, compression bandages, and a SWAT T tourniquet. Something else to consider adding to your backpack is a readily accessible knife. And this here we have is a Pioneer Woman knife. And hopefully you know the significance of the Pioneer Woman paring knife. Here's the backpack as I have it set up with the SU-16 folded and set inside, and then this is the paintball barrel condom, which is meant to kind of distract by being obvious and give it like rental for, I don't know, maybe especially if you're carrying some camera gear. A little more nondescript would be this pot handle thing. and that just kind of almost looks like a musician's instrument, you know, protector for like some kind of instrument, musician's instrument. But so anyway, decent setup. You know, I thought that it would have some issues. I thought that it would be, since I'm using the zippers to kind of pinch the barrel back there, I thought that, you know, as it shook back and forth, it would unzip. And while I can make that happen right here, you can see it unzips. It hasn't happened while riding my bike and even riding on rough terrain. So I don't know if it's the fact that when it's on my back, maybe that puts a little tension on it. If it puts some kind of tension on it and prevents that from happening, or what. But as you can see, it's sort of nondescript, and this is a really nice, comfortable backpack. Anyways, Mark Laughlin speaking for the Ambidextral Gunfighter. Please like, share, and subscribe. I think it almost reached that muzzle there. Grab it. Not gonna happen.